Chapter 26. Russ. Never known someone who's definitely getting head today look so fucking miserable. I don't realize I've zoned out until I hear Xander say the words head and fucking miserable. I'm not definitely getting head later, but I will try to cheer up. Sorry, man. After the whole food hall saying happy birthday to me this morning, Xander announced we were spending our day off seeing what Meadow Springs has to offer. I told him I already know the answer, and it's not a lot, but he was insistent, saying now that he and Rory have joint custody of me, I couldn't not go with him when I went with her yesterday. It's a nice sentiment, but there's only so much mini-golf two men can play. Normally I'd spend my day off hanging around to see Rory, but after our conversation about fame and privacy yesterday, a bit of distance for a few hours is letting me think clearly. I can't think properly when I'm around her, and I need to start using my brain again because I haven't been recently. Stopping at the Drunk Duck, the one bar available, Xander and I decided to grab some burgers before heading back to camp. I've spent the entire meal half listening, half trapped in my head. I'm pretty sure birthday head is in the Constitution, he jokes, causing me to choke on my soda. Ha! Got you to laugh, you miserable shit. What's going on? Tell Uncle Zan. Did you just call yourself Uncle Zan? Well, I can't call myself Daddy Zan, can I? I know how to read a room. So go on. What's jumped up your ass? My knee-jerk reaction is to turn the conversation around and make it about Xander, but I think it'd be good to get his opinion. We've been sharing the same space for weeks now, and he's a genuinely good guy, so I decided to chance it. I'm wondering if I should call it a day with Aurora. You're fucking lying, he says, watching for my reaction. Say you're joking right now. We almost got caught this week. I opened the door just as Jenna showed up. If she'd arrived 2 minutes earlier, she'd have caught me. Well, it doesn't matter, but she would have caught me doing something that would get me sent home. 2 people sneaking around almost get caught. Yeah, that's how it tends to go, bro. It's half the fun. And do you even care about going home anymore? We're almost done anyway, and your friend said you could always crash with him if you needed to. You're too smart to think I'd believe this is about getting caught. What's the real reason? I have to give it to Xander, he has a point. I've definitely been more relaxed after my friends encouraged me to risk getting fired, and JJ gave me somewhere to go if I needed it until I have the excuse of college assignments and hockey to keep me unavailable. Have I ever told you I'm not trying to go pro? He puts his burger down, wiping his hands and mouth on his napkin, and leans back against the booth, focusing on me. No, you haven't mentioned it. Why not? What's that got to do with Rory? I don't want to be famous. I don't want to have strangers potentially poking around my life or get attention in the public eye. It's my worst nightmare, and I don't love hockey enough to give up my privacy like that. Okay, and she's already famous. I Googled her last night, and there's so much about her family. There's even photos of Amelia. It's just a lot. I knew about her dad, but I don't really feel like I knew the full extent of it, if that makes sense. Because she's Rory, and she's the way she is, and I forgot that outside of camp she has a whole other life. A whole other life that she came here to escape. Xander takes a long sip of his beer, and it's the most serious I've seen him. I need to know if you know what you're saying is wild and you just need my reassurance, or if you genuinely believe it. Because I can deal with a little it's getting too real crisis, but if you actually think you should break things off with her, I don't know how to help you, bro. You think I'm being a dick, don't you? Xander shrugs, and it's the yes he wants to say, but won't because he's a good friend. I probably am being a dick, but I also know that things don't go well for me in life. It's hard not to get wrapped up in the good things since they happen so infrequently in comparison. Xander sighs, and I feel it in my bones. I think you're finding an issue where there doesn't need to be one. Think of any famous person with a non-famous girlfriend, boyfriend, best friend, whatever. Tell me something outrageous about them. Think of their deepest, darkest secret, the one thing in the world they wanted nobody to know but came out anyway. I'm totally blank. You can't, because people don't give a shit. You thought about dropping your friends that just went pro? Your now famous friends? I'd never want to cut out Nate or JJ. Never even crossed my mind. Isn't your brother in a band, too? What happens when he gets mega famous? You'll be Aurora-less and in the exact same situation. You clearly really like her, and she stares at you like you hung the fucking moon. So just be together and don't stress for once. It's like being doused in cold water. I'd never want to give up the way she looks at me. You're right, man. I don't know. I think I'm just in my feelings. That's okay. Feelings are good. He pulls out his cell phone, glancing at the screen briefly, and immediately putting it back into his pocket. Nothing good comes from bottling shit up. For the record, I think you're being a fool because your chemistry is wild. She's great. You're great. I bet the set watch it. So protective. Jeez. But my point stands. What could you possibly do or have done that's so bad you'd give up someone who makes you happy? It's not like you're getting married. But I get it, it's not something that's going to go away in the future. But when did she stop being worth the risk? I never said she wasn't worth the risk. I want her. I like her so fucking much, and I can't work out how the hell this happened. But just because I want her doesn't mean I deserve to have her. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. Xander downs the rest of his beer, and I sip on my soda, feeling irritated with myself. Do you think you're good enough for her? What? You heard me, he says, resting his elbow on the table and leaning against his hand. Something's got you into this funk because you just said deserve. Is that what you're worried about? You two get serious in the future and there's an international debate to try to decide if you deserve her? Well, I wasn't even thinking about that until right now. Jesus Christ. Another thing to now worry about. Xander rolls his eyes. Answer my question, dude. Do you think you're good enough for Aurora? Wanting her, having her, and feeling like I deserve her are three very different things. No, I don't. I'm a fuck-up. That's your problem. You're such a fucking pessimist. Let me tell you right now, Callahan, no bullshit, no protecting your feelings. You are good enough. The sooner you start believing that, the sooner we get to pretend this little crisis you're experiencing never happened. You gotta trust the universe to let you be happy, man. But if you're not, and you're going to let Aurora down when shit gets too scary for you, then yeah, you should bow out now while it's just starting. She doesn't deserve to have that happen to her. And if I fuck everything up first? He rolls his eyes again. I swear you just enjoy punishing yourself, bro. You're not a fuck-up. You're 21, and you're one of the nicest, most level-headed guys I know. We're friends, so you get to be in your head right now, and I won't hold it against you, but she will if you call it a day, and change your mind when you realize you fumbled the bag. Well, shit. I rub at my jaw nervously, feeling like more of a dick than I did before this conversation started. Did they put a birthday lecture in the Constitution, too? Stop acting like a goof, and I'll stop hitting you with my wisdom. Come on, birthday boy, drink up. The woman who's obsessed with you texted to tell me to get our asses back to camp. I downed the rest of my drink. I didn't know fish could text. I mull over Xander's words as we drive back to Honey Acres with the radio loud enough that we don't have to chat. After we sign back in at reception, Xander starts telling me about one of the lifeguards, who he's 75% sure checks him out when we take the kids on the lake. As we head toward the entertainment area where the evening activities take place, he keeps up a steady stream of anecdotes, which isn't necessarily unusual for Xander, but this is different, and it makes me stop suddenly. There's a cake, isn't there? Xander stops too, a sheepish look on his face as he shrugs. Why would there be a cake? Maybe there's cake, maybe there's not cake. I don't know. I'm just here to keep the kids safe. I don't know about kitchen operations. He blows out a breath, putting his hands on his hips. There might be a cake. Thanks for being so clear and concise, buddy. We're almost there when he throws an arm around my shoulders. She gives you the puppy eyes. You don't know how scary she can be to the rest of us when she chooses to be. I can cope with a cake on my birthday if it makes Aurora happy. Having a birthday during summer break has always meant people are busy, and my mom's attempt at a birthday celebration always turned into some kind of drama, so I stopped making an effort. I haven't checked if anyone has tried to reach me today to wish me happy birthday, but last night when I used it to Google the Roberts family, which feels embarrassing to admit now, I had no missed calls or messages from my family. I haven't heard from anyone since Dad was in the hospital, and even though I made it clear I didn't want to be contacted, I'm still surprised they listened. I don't even have any money requests from my dad, which is more suspicious than surprising. Xander clears his throat, dragging me out of my head. Listen, I need to blindfold you, and I really need you not to punch me. Please tell me you're joking. Why could I possibly need a blindfold? Does this feel like the kind of thing I'd joke about? Maybe Clay's going to jump out of your cake and strip. I don't fucking know. He pulls one of the blindfolds we use for the kids' games from his pocket. I'm not tough enough to fight you, big guy. Let's not make this difficult. She was very clear that you need a blindfold. He places the material over my eyes as I huff. You knew this was coming, and you still let me moan about my feelings? Told you you're a fool. Letting Xander navigate me while blindfolded is now my personal hell. It's totally silent as we come to a stop, and part of me worries he's about to push me into the lake or something. I'm taking the blindfold off. Remember to act surprised about your cake, he whispers as he unties the material at the back of my head. I squint beneath the sunlight as my eyes readjust, and everyone shouts happy birthday all at once. I'm immediately piled on by multiple bodies, and it's not until they free me from their clutches and step back that I realize who's in front of me. Henry's pushing Nate away from his personal space, while Robbie maneuvers himself out of Chris's and Bobby's way. JJ's arm lands on my shoulder, and my jaw still feels like it's on the floor. Happy birthday, kiddo. The girls and Joe send their love, Robbie says. We wanted to video call them, but you weren't joking about the service here. What the fuck is happening right now? Two of my campers, Sadia and Leon, push their way through my friends and hold out a huge handmade birthday card. Sadia frowns. You can't say curse words in front of us. Crouching down, I try to drag myself back into work mode as I gratefully accept the card. You're right. I'm sorry. I'm just very, very surprised. There's a painting on the front, but I can't tell what it is. It looks like it lost a fight with a paint gun. Give me a clue, guys. Leon points to blued blobs. It's you crying about Kevin's turd. Your friends are really noisy, Sadia says, looking around at them. They are being noisy, cheering and shouting as they try to control their excitement. Each of them has a yellow lanyard around their neck with the word visitor printed on it. Being slandered by an 8-year-old, Maddie says quietly to Robbie. I slander you all the time, Lou, Nate snorts. They're not quiet enough because Sadia hears everything. It's not slander if it's true. My mom's a lawyer. Okay, Legal Eagle, Janice says, making her way through the people crowding around me. We've had Russ to ourselves for lots of weeks. Why don't we let him have one more minute with his college friends and then we can start his party? Party? I repeat, swallowing. You really thought she was going to let you get away with not celebrating? Janice says. There's something in her tone, something that tells me maybe she knows what I don't want her to know, and weirdly, it makes me feel better because she hasn't fired me. Fat chance of that. She got everyone here in under 24 hours. She goes all out for people she cares about. Looking over the shoulders of my friends, I spot her talking to Amelia near the stage. I don't know why she's hanging back when all I want to do is wrap my arms around her. I'll be back in 1 minute, I say to the guys, immediately heading toward her. Her face lights up as I approach, and it takes every fiber of my restraint to hug Amelia first, so it doesn't look suspicious. I let Amelia go and hold out my arms to Rory until she wraps her arms around my waist, and I bury my head into her hair. Aurora is glowing as she leans back and smiles up at me. Happy birthday, Callahan. You're incredible. Happy birthday, Russ, Amelia says, slapping me on the arm as she leaves Aurora and me alone. I don't want to let go, but I know I have to. She knows too, which is why she takes a step backward. You didn't give me any time to get you a birthday present. She grabs a small paper gift bag from behind her. So it isn't very good, but please know it caused me a lot of stress and took so freaking long to do because I'm out of practice. Reaching into the bag, I pull out my present, a yellow origami dog. Oh my God. Is it fish? She leans over to peek into the bag, reaching in and pulling out 2 smaller yellow dogs, placing them on my palm too. This is incredible. I tried to make possums, but nobody could tell what they were supposed to be. I let her hold the origami as I pull out something else from the bag. Okay, so I can't lie. I stole this one from the old library that nobody uses, and it's older than both of us combined. I read from the cover. Learn all 37 presidents for ages 6 to 10. I know how much you love naming presidents. She gives me a look that makes me want to say, fuck the party. There's one more present. It's probably at the bottom. Digging in the bag, I pull out the final present. It's a piece of pink card the size of a hockey ticket. When I flip it over, it's unsurprisingly nothing to do with hockey. 1 birthday wish coupon, eligible for redemption by Russ Callahan at any time, from Aurora Roberts. You don't have to decide what you want now, she says softly. I'm sure you're overwhelmed. I know I went a little overboard. I look around at the banners, balloons, streamers that I didn't even notice before. But you deserve to have nice things. I wish I could kiss you. Give me your coupon and we can make that wish come true. I mean, we'll cause camp-wide outrage, which isn't very birthday celebration-y, but a deal is a deal. I wish I could go back to earlier and slap that Russ. I wouldn't have spent the day worrying about whether we're a good idea. Aurora Roberts will always be a good idea. Handing her the coupon, I watch her eyes widen in surprise. I want to take you on a date. That's what my birthday wish is. A date? She says. Yes, a real date. With me? With you. Even though I gave you origami golden retrievers and an old moth-eaten book on presidents for your birthday? Especially because of those things. The hardest part of being on everyone's radar is going to be having no opportunity to sneak off tonight. She takes the coupon from my outstretched hand, her green eyes sparkling, and nods. Consider your wish granted. Being the center of attention is exhausting, and I'm ready for it to be over. I pick at the frosting of my second piece of cake, soaking in the quiet now that all the campers have been taken to bed. Well, as quiet as it can be with my friends around. As soon as the cake was cut, presents were handed over, and happy birthday was sung. I finally got the rundown of how my birthday party came to fruition. Before we headed to Meadow Springs yesterday, Aurora got JJ's number from Amelia, and between them they coordinated this very last-minute surprise. They set off this morning, arriving just in time to make the friendship bracelets now decorating my arms. Henry said Honey Acres is worse than he thought it would be, and Bobby is upset Jenna is both uninterested and unable to remember him, while JJ is just happy to be reunited. Orla agreed to the guys visiting on the condition they wear the visitor lanyards and they're not left unattended anywhere on site. Should I be expecting you to move her in? Robbie says, sitting beside the fire with me and Nate. That room alters brain chemistry, clearly. Why are you acting like Lola doesn't sleep in your bed 5 nights a week? Nate snaps back. You try telling Lola what to do, Robbie argues back. See what happens. Aurora has made herself scarce this evening, keeping herself busy making sure everyone is having a good time. I wish I could sit her beside me and let the guys get to know her, but it'd look suspicious, and I think if she wanted to do that, she would. A few of them have caught her on her own for individual chats, but I have no idea what they've said to her. She's not moving in, don't worry. We haven't labeled it, so I suppose we're technically friends who like each other. The words feel weird coming out of my mouth, but what else am I supposed to call her? She's great, though. I really like her. They both start laughing at the same time. Nate smirks as he leans back in his chair. I remember thinking Stas was my friend. She actively disliked you, and then she got Stockholm Syndrome. Robbie snorts. She was never your friend. Still got the girl, didn't I? Nate shrugs. You know, Aurora offered to pay for everyone's flights if it got us here. She was ready to hire a private driver. Either she's about to be the best friend you've ever had, or you're about to be the relationship Henry complains about living next to. Forcing away all the insecure feelings from earlier, I answer honestly. I want both. The pair of them laugh, and I've never noticed before now how similar the two are, like an old couple who mirror each other's mannerisms. Robbie sips his hot chocolate, and Nate does the same, and they both give me identical smug grins. Young love.
Chapter 27. Aurora.
I told you he's a good guy.
Henry doesn't say anything else as he drops into the seat beside me with his breakfast. Russ's friend stayed in a B&B in Meadow Springs last night, but Orla said they could visit before leaving, as long as they still had their visitor lanyards and it was during the morning cabin inspection, so the kids would be busy. I concentrate on my toast, suddenly feeling nervous to have one-on-one time with Russ's best friend. I mean, technically we've had one-on-one time before, but that was when I was unknowingly ditching Russ post-hookup. I know you did. I never thought he wasn't. We both watch Russ at the table across from ours while we eat in silence. He's laughing with Robbie and Maddie, two of the guys who made it their mission to get to know me better last night. I've tried to keep a safe distance, not wanting to smother him or overcrowd him when his friends are here, but it's hard when I naturally just want to be near him. The loud buzz of multiple conversations fills the silence until Henry slices through it, catching me off guard.
My room is next to Russ's room in our house. It isn't soundproof, so please don't treat it like it is.
I almost choke on my veggie bacon. Sorry?
I imagine you're going to visit a lot. I'd rather not hear you come. Sorry.
I expect him to start laughing or give me some indication he's joking around, but he looks entirely serious. I am not a girl who stumbles over her words. I am a rambler. I am an oversharer. I am lost for words. I promise to try my hardest to not put you through that.
He told me you know how shitty his dad is to him.
Yeah.
You know more in 6 weeks than some of our friends have found out in 2 years.
When he puts it like that, it makes me value even more how much Russ has trusted me with.
He doesn't know how much everyone loves him. He only ever assumes the worst and jumps to the worst conclusions. Sometimes you'll need to spell the good out to him.
I don't say it to Henry, but I know exactly what he means. Russ and I would have started on a much more friendly foot if he hadn't wrongly assumed I'd feel uncomfortable around him. You're a good friend, Henry.
Russ deserves good friends.
We spend the rest of breakfast talking about some photographs Henry took of their B&B and the surrounding landscape for him to try some new painting techniques when he gets home. By the time everyone is leaving, I feel like Henry will remember me as the girl who likes his friend, and not the girl he bumped into that night. Even hours after the guys left, the aftermath of having 7 painfully attractive strangers here for a few hours has disrupted the normal order of everyone's day. All the staff are acting horny and a little chaotic after seeing so many new faces. I'm okay, though, because a painfully attractive man makes me feel horny and chaotic daily, so I'm used to it. Maya and I work hard to keep the kids busy and burn off all their excess energy by swapping our morning schedule of arts and crafts for a treasure hunt, much to Jenna and her program spreadsheet's dismay. But Russ and Clay lose our map with all the treasure locations, and the whole thing takes 3 times as long. The hunt does the trick. By the time our post-lunch quiet hour arrives, everyone is a lot more chilled than they were a few hours ago. Maya is losing her voice from shouting all morning. My voice remains undefeated. I'm hanging out with the other counselors in the shade on the picnic bench outside the Brown Bear's cabin when Xander clears his throat.
I have an announcement to make.
I think he's waiting for some kind of dramatic reaction, but nobody says anything.
Amelia and I have decided to part over creative differences.
Give me a clue, Maya says, squinting at him as she shields the sun from her eyes. You're so goddamn dramatic, Amelia groans. The talent show. Xander is going to do his own thing because we can't agree on anything. Is this because she said you couldn't win American Idol? Clay asks. Nobody sounds good singing campfire songs, bro. Don't take it to heart. My jaw drops. No, absolutely not. We're a team. Every other counselor group has said they're going to work out an act the day before because it's not that serious. Fuck that. I want my group to be the best. That's why I've been trying to get everyone organized for weeks. It's not my fault I'm not creative enough to come up with an idea myself. You can't do it on your own, Zan. That's super sad and lonely. You need us.
I'm not. I have Russ.
He pats Russ on the back, and Russ looks up, suddenly alert.
Sorry, what's happening? Creative differences. Talent show, dog tricks. Come on, man, I told you like an hour ago.
Xander says, blocking out Amelia with his hand when she starts laughing at dog tricks.
I didn't realize you wanted me to join you. If Xander gets to leave the group, can I just not participate?
No! Xander and I snap at the same time. You promised, I remind him. He rolls his eyes.
Was worth a try.
Several high-pitched screams ring out from the kids' cabin, and Maya and Clay jump to their feet. I swear to God, if Michael has brought in another frog, I'm going to make him sleep by the lake, Maya grumbles. As soon as they're gone, Russ moves closer to me, leaning against his hand at an angle that blocks out Amelia and Xander from our conversation.
I won't go with Xander if you don't want me to. I know how important this is to you.
I want to kiss him. I always want to kiss him. Sighing overdramatically, I place my hand on the table next to his elbow so I can gently brush my finger against his arm. It's fine. I don't want Xander to be on his own, and I don't want you to be unhappy. It's not a big deal. Now that Amelia has no opposition, we'll definitely be dancing.
I'd be happy if I was dancing with you, he says quietly. You'd make it worth it.
The butterflies in my body all flap at once. Go with Xander.
You're the best,
he says, nudging me with his knee.
Are you doing anything tonight after we clock off?
I shake my head, mind immediately running with 1,000 different possibilities.
Don't make plans. We're going on a date.
The evening is painfully slow in comparison to the afternoon, and I spend my entire night clock watching, waiting to see what my first ever date is going to be. Shortly after the kids are ushered to bed, Russ appears looking concerned, which immediately puts me on edge. I'm in comfortable clothes, like he told me to be when he left earlier, but having zero idea what's going on is not my idea of fun.
We have a slight problem,
he says as he approaches me, stopping far enough away so we don't look over-friendly. What is it?
We need to sign out at reception, and it'll look suspicious if we're both signed out together.
We've done it before, I say.
Not at night. You gotta admit that looks suspicious.
He's right, as much as I don't want to admit it. I don't even know what he has planned, but I'm nervous and excited, and I don't want him to say we can't go. There's a path that starts near the back of the kitchen that leads to a dirt track a few minutes' drive away. I could sneak out, but you have to promise to not snitch on me, because unlike you, who's breaking the rules left and right, I'm trying to repair my image. He rolls his eyes, and his dimples appear as he fights a smile.
Is it safe?
Yeah, it's an evacuation route that they put in decades ago. I'll need a flashlight. He throws his truck keys at me.
I don't want you walking in the dark. Don't check the back, or you'll ruin the surprise.
The excitement and nerves eat away at me as I keep a straight face signing out at the front office. When I'm safely in Russ's truck, that's when I give up fighting it. I keep the headlights on as I wait the 5 minutes it takes for him to find me, and as he jogs up to the fence line, I try not to drool when he jumps over it with ease. Is everything he does hot, or am I just easily impressed? One of life's great questions. Opening the driver's door, he slides me along the seat and positions himself in front of the wheel.
I don't even want to know how you know that barely there path leads to here, Trouble.
Am I trouble, or am I an explorer? He throws an arm over the back of the seat as he looks over his shoulder to drive in reverse up the dirt track back to the road. Again, hot or easily impressed. His hand twirls the ends of my hair, and the definitive answer is hot. Definitely, definitely hot.
Trouble. 100%.
There's no one else on the roads this late at night, but Russ concentrates as he drives, one hand resting on my thigh, tapping to the song on the radio. The next song is by an up-and-coming rock band Poppy likes, which is starting to get radio play. I bought Poppy and Amelia tickets to their LA show in a few months, but before I can tell Russ, he changes the station. You don't like Take Back December?
Not really.
He lifts his hand from my thigh to rub along his jawline.
It's my brother's band.
Oh my God. Your brother Ethan is Ethan Callahan? How did I not notice that before? Amelia's girlfriend loves TBD.
Yep.
He doesn't sound very pleased about that fact, and after what I've learned about his relationship with his family, I'm not surprised. He takes a right down an old dirt road, looking at me for a split second before putting his hand back on my thigh. Your brother is famous, but you don't want to go pro because you don't want to be famous. As someone with a family always in the press, I know you sometimes have no choice.
You're not the only person to point that out to me recently, funnily enough. Ethan isn't really famous, though.
He squeezes my thigh, which I think is supposed to be a comfort, but I feel it everywhere.
Should we tell everyone we're only children?
Definitely. But I'm a bit concerned it won't matter anyway, since you appear to be taking me somewhere to murder me and bury my body in a field. The truck throws us around a little as we drive over the uneven ground in the direction of an old, derelict building. Where the hell are we? I am not fucking you in that haunted house, if that's your plan. He snorts as he puts the truck into park.
I thought you knew every inch of Honey Acres, Ms. Explorer.
He teases, taking the keys out of the ignition. I do. This is not Honey Acres. We are almost definitely trespassing. We both climb out, and I walk around to his side, still totally confused about what we're doing here. As soon as I'm close enough, he bends to kiss me, reviving the butterflies that are now a permanent addition to my body.
I thought trespassing would be exciting for you.
Trespassing in a hotel to make yourself a midnight snack? Yes. Trespassing in a field is how you end up with a gunshot wound.
We're on Orla's land, I promise. I found this place on a run, and I checked when I got back to camp. We're not that far away. It just takes longer to get here by vehicle, since I can't drive through fences.
He laughs and takes my hand, walking us to the back of his truck.
I just realized people don't kiss at the start of a first date.
You can drive through fences, but people yell at you when you go to apologize, and they make your parents pay for the damage. His eyebrow rightfully rises. Anyway, I haven't been on a first date before, so I don't know the rules, which is probably a red flag for you, because why would I be undated at 20 unless it's because I'm really annoying, which I am, and, well, we might get charged at by cows tonight or eaten by wolves or something. So I'd rather kiss at the start than not kiss at all. I need to stop talking. I'm doing that thing that you make me do where I just... He stops at the back of the truck, nudging my chin up with his knuckle to close my mouth.
I know you're the English major, but undated isn't a word, sweetheart.
I feel like it is. He ignores me and opens the tailgate, pulling off a white sheet, revealing cushions and quilts, an ice chest, and the battery-powered projector we sometimes use for outdoor movie night. Oh my goodness. Lifting me onto the tailgate, he leans in and kisses me again. Slow, gentle, perfect.
I haven't been on a first date before either.
I'm stunned into silence as Russ helps me shuffle back to get comfortable on the makeshift bed, handing me a thermos labeled hot chocolate and a bag of popcorn. He positions the projector on top of the truck, pointing it at the side wall of the creepy house, and that's when it hits me how much effort he's put into this. I'm not a crier, But this man might just make my eyes water a little. He throws another blanket on top of me and finally sits down, getting under the covers too.
Comfortable? Warm enough?
He asks. Everything is perfect. The wall turns blue as the Disney castle appears, followed by the Pixar lamp. And as soon as Gusteau's restaurant appears on the tiny television, my heart just about explodes. He's thought of everything. Ratatouille? Russ, you're perfect. Like dream guy perfect. You're too good to be real. My honesty catches him off guard, and beneath the glow of the moon, I watch all the emotions run across his face. I've always known I need validation like I need air, and although I don't think he's exactly the same, we are very similar. People have made us feel like we're less than we are, and those opinions are buried deep in us both, like weeds. Every drop of self-doubt waters the soil, and once they start to grow, it feels impossible to stop. But it isn't impossible. It just takes someone to rip them out by the root, over and over if needed. We're so different, and yet so similar, and part of me is starting to believe that's the perfect mix. He reaches toward me, brushing a strand of hair from my face.
Tell me a secret.
I don't want to go back to reality next month. I want to stay here with you and the dogs and throw our cell phones into the fire. He laughs quietly, his hand massaging the back of my neck while I ramble. I'll open my bookstore and you can open your bowling store or build robots or whatever engineers do. They can protect us from the possums and the wolves, I guess. But you'll choose me and I'll choose you and we'll be happy without anyone else ruining it.
You are the brightest thing in my life, Aurora, he says. And you're a living reminder of the good things that can happen when I allow myself to be happy.
Part of me wonders if I'd let someone in before now, could I have avoided a lot of the unhappiness I've dealt with? But I think the answer is no. I'd have still been doing the same reckless things as before, bouncing from one emotional overload to the next, desperately seeking something more. I'd never have made someone happy, and chances are that after the initial buzz of their attention wore off, I'd be lost again. Russ makes me feel content, the one thing I didn't realize I needed. We shuffle closer, sinking deeper into the blankets, facing each other, totally ignoring the cartoon rat being projected onto the wall. You tell me a secret, I whisper.
It's not a secret because a lot of people know about it. But can I tell you about something bad that happened to me? Something I really hate talking about.
Of course. I'm patient while he awkwardly chews the inside of his cheek, clearly delaying things. His leg slips between mine. His hand rests on the curve of my waist, and just when I think he's about to start talking, he leans in and kisses me instead. Breaking us apart, I rest my forehead against his. I'm still going to be here to kiss you when you're done sharing, I say softly.
Did you hear about the hockey rink getting trashed at the start of the year?
I think so, maybe. Didn't you guys have to share the other rink or something?
Yeah, well, it was my fault.
My jaw almost unhinges. You trashed a hockey rink?
No, of course not. I met this girl, Leah, at a party, and she was nice to me. I'd gone with some guys I lived with. Leah kissed me, we messed around a bit. Not all the way.
Someone tell me why I'm jealous.
Then, every party I went to, Leah was there, and we ended up hooking up a few times. I liked her, and I thought maybe, just maybe, sophomore year wouldn't be trash, and I could have some happiness. Next thing I know, I've got her boyfriend in my DMs threatening me. They'd been fighting or whatever. She'd been using me to get back at him.
I'm so sorry she did that to you.
Oh, it gets so much worse.
He laughs, but it's humorless.
This thing between her and her boyfriend was super toxic. One of those relationships everyone loves to hate. So when she found out she was pregnant, She told her older brother, who's a hockey player at UCLA, that she'd been ghosted. I'd blocked her when I found out about the boyfriend. She wouldn't give them my name, just that it was someone on my team, thinking that'd be the end of it. But it wasn't. They trashed the rink. Oh, Russ. I wanted to drop out because of it. I was so embarrassed. If Nate hadn't held my hand through it, I would have. It was bad enough when I thought the rink had been trashed because of her boyfriend, but this was so much worse. Everyone was talking about it. I had to go to meetings about it until it was proven I hadn't done anything. It was a fucking mess.
You have no reason to feel embarrassed. You're the victim in all of this. You didn't do anything other than hook up with a girl at a party, and there's nothing wrong with that. You could have hooked up with every girl at that party. It still doesn't make someone using you as a scapegoat okay.
That's what Stassi and Lola say, but I haven't been able to shake the guilt. When I'm on campus, I'm wondering if people are thinking about it when they see me. I hate having to play UCLA, knowing that's what they'll all be thinking about.
I hate that this has been eating at you. When something happens, it feels so huge to you, but that's because it's happening to you. But in reality, most people don't know or care. If everyone was talking about it like you feel like they are, I'd already know everything. I just heard there was some damage. Nothing about you.
You really didn't know?
No, I promise I didn't. But someone took advantage of you, Russ. You gotta stop punishing yourself for it. I stroke his face with my thumb, and he kisses the palm of my hand. If you overthink it, you won't be able to move on. So what? A rink got trashed. It's not like somebody died. Do you know how much stuff I've trashed by accident?
Some fence lines, I'd guess.
That wasn't an accident. I roll my eyes, leaning in closer. But my point remains. You're a great person. Your friends love you, and the dogs love you. That's all I think about when I think of you. How easy you are to like.
I don't know why I'm bringing it up now. I'm sorry, have I fucked up our first date already?
His eyes shut, and he sighs, sinking further into the pillows. Sometimes I want to shake this man, because he doesn't realize how happy his handing over those pieces of himself he keeps so tight to his chest makes me. You voluntarily sharing something that's personal to you makes this the best date, Russ. I promise. Thank you for trusting me with the full story. His eyes open slowly.
Can I have that post-sharing kiss you promised now? Please?
I can't help but smile as I lean in. Of course.
Chapter 28. Russ. I hadn't intended to tell Aurora about Leah when we got here, and on reflection, it's probably not the most suitable topic of discussion for a first date, even if she says it is. But Aurora makes everything feel lighter. A few sentences about something that's been plaguing me for almost a year, and I feel better. All she did was listen and tell me that if everyone was talking about it, she would have known, and the slightly more dramatic, it's not like somebody died. I don't know why I decided to tell her right now. Maybe because she called me too good to be real, and I know I'm not. That's one of the stories that proves I'm not, and by my telling her, she's not being misled about who I am. Sharing things you've kept so close to you is exhausting. Can I have that post-sharing kiss you promised now, please? Of course, she says softly, leaning in. My hand cups her cheek, thumb brushing gently across her skin as her lips meet mine. She tastes like hot chocolate, and when I pull her body closer to mine, she immediately complies. I love this, I whisper against her mouth. Making out? I guide her leg over mine until she's straddling my hips. Her hands pull the duvet around her shoulders, then link around my neck, cocooning us. My hands slip beneath her sweatshirt, tracing my fingers along her spine with one hand, maneuvering her flesh to me with the other. Having you to myself. Aurora brushes her nose against me, lightly pressing kisses against various parts of my face, the corner of my mouth, my temple, the tip of my nose. Considering how many times a day you remind the kids to share, it's pretty funny you're so bad at it. She rests her forehead against mine and my arms wrap around her waist, holding her tight. I'll happily share everything, but you. I'm forced to let go when she sits back, letting my hands sit on her hips instead. She looks at me with an uncertainty I'm not used to seeing from her. They're pretty words, but do you really mean them? As needy as it sounds, I hate the small distance between our bodies right now. But I hate how unsure she looks in this moment more. Being so candid with someone would usually make me anxious. I just shared a big thing with her, voluntarily, I should add, so it's a lot for me to continue to put my thoughts and feelings out there. It isn't a secret, I'm not amazing with women, and under normal circumstances I'm pretty sure I'd be sitting scared waiting for them to be stomped all over. I don't feel like that with her. I want to be close to her. Your attention is a gift, Aurora. I have no intention of not valuing the time I get with you. God, Callahan, why do you have to be so freaking sweet? She mumbles, looking down at her hands fiddling with the hem of my sweatshirt. I'm only like this with you. You're the only person who's ever made me want to be like this, Aurora. You'll never have to question if you're wanted. You'll never have to question if you're my first choice. My heart is hammering in my chest as the words pour out of me. The duvet is still draped over her shoulders, making it easier for me to pull each side, pulling her body down to mine again. You are. Whatever else I was about to say doesn't happen because her mouth crushes against mine, her hands settling on either side of my face as her hips roll against me, sending electricity shooting up my spine as I groan, flexing my hips into her. I'm burning beneath her touch. And as all the blood in my body rushes south, I'm so happy I told her how I feel, while I could still focus on speaking. I don't want to share you either, she says, her mouth traveling along my jawline. Her teeth nip at my earlobe while her warm breath tickles my neck. I roll us over until she's pinned beneath me with her legs crossed at the bottom of my back. I grind myself into her, enjoying the way her eyes roll back and her breathing hitches. We're both still fully dressed, but the flimsy cotton separating us does nothing but prove how perfectly I fit between her thighs. Her tongue moves against mine, back arching to push her breasts into me. My perfect girl, I mumble as I move to kiss down her neck. Aurora's hands reach down, pushing clumsily at the waistband of my sweatpants with one hand and doing the same action with her leggings. I want to feel you, she whispers. It takes all my mental strength to lift myself off her enough to remove her leggings and a tiny piece of lace she claims are panties, but it's so fucking worth it. I push my pants and boxers down over my hips, shuffling them off in a way that doesn't make the truck shake. Pumping my hard dick in my hand, I let Aurora pull me back down to her, both of us now bare from the waist down. I kiss her, groaning into her mouth when her hand reaches between us and she grips me gently. My hips have a mind of their own as I start to thrust into her hand slowly. I won't put it in, okay? Okay. She guides me closer to her and I hover at the right distance, waiting, holding my breath to see what she's going to do next. That's when she opens her legs a little wider and slides the tip of my dick against her clit gently. It feels fucking perfect. She's gentle but deliberate, going further, changing pressures, and when she starts to lose her rhythm, I take over, replicating what she was doing. It's easier for me to grind against her, allowing me to kiss her too. Her fingers dig into my shoulders as her tongue rolls against mine. You feel so good, she moans, arching her back. Her hips rock against me, the wet sound music to my fucking ears. Condom? Not yet. That gets her attention, but I ignore her confused look in favor of pulling up her sweatshirt, exposing what is supposed to be a bra, but is also just a scrap of lace. Did you wear this for me? I pull down the material carefully, closing my mouth over one of the already stiff peaks. She instantly gets louder and louder as I try to pay attention to every inch of her. My dick is throbbing. I'm desperate to be inside of her, but watching her come from this makes it worth the wait. I asked you a question, Aurora. I need you inside me, she mules, tightening her legs around me. I switch to her other breast. Did you wear this for me? She nods frantically, eyes pinched shut as her jaw slacks. Why? Her nails sink into my skin and her breathing changes. Because I want you to fuck me. I'm going to come. Aurora buries her head into my neck as she moans out a sound I'll be able to hear for the rest of my life. Her body works perfectly with mine. It's addictive. Reaching into the cooler beside our makeshift bed, I pull out a box of condoms I bought earlier. I bought the condoms before I found anything else for this date, which normally wouldn't be a great sign, but there was no chance I was receiving the same disappointed look I've had multiple times now when I've been unprepared. Ripping the foil with my teeth, I sit back on my heels, quickly rolling it over me. You have a really pretty dick, you know, she says, pushing herself onto her forearms. It's kind of visually perfect. I just rubbed against this woman until she came, and I can feel myself blushing because she called my penis attractive. I really need to unbox that at some point. I don't know how to respond to that. Thanks. You're welcome. Will you be gentle with me, please? She rolls over onto her stomach, her legs only slightly separated. And lie on top of me? Of course. I position myself behind her, my legs over hers, guiding myself between her parted thighs until I feel myself start to sink into her. There is no better feeling than this, none. You are the best feeling in the world, sweetheart. It's really fucking deep like this. I lie down, my front on her back, trying my best to give her the closeness she clearly needs while not crushing her. I kiss along her shoulders, up her neck. I can even reach her face from this position. I cover every part of her I can reach with kisses, all while rocking myself into her in a steady rhythm. I intertwine her fingers with mine and pin them to the bed on either side of her head. Harder, she whispers, and it's taking everything for me not to come, especially listening to her little moans. Her hands tighten around mine as I do as she asks. The sound of my hips slapping against her ass is making me lose my mind, and when she starts pushing back against me, I know we're both close. You're so deep. I can feel you everywhere. You take it so well, sweetheart. You're such a good girl. Praise is key to getting this woman off, and as soon as good and girl come out of my mouth, it's only a matter of time. I'm nearly there. I can feel like a tugging sensation, and I'm desperately trying to get her there first. I let go of her right hand and slip mine along the front of her body until I find the spot between her legs that makes her throw her head back. Oh, God. That's it, sweetheart. Show me how beautiful you look when you come for me. Her body starts to thrash, but she has limited options given my body is covering hers. Russ, she moans as she squeezes me so fucking tight I'm coming right there with her. It lasts for so long that when I pull out of her slowly, I'm still going. Collapsing next to her, I'm fucking beat. She snuggles closer, kissing me again slowly. Are you going to judge me for putting out on the first date? I snort, once again never knowing what's going to come out of her mouth. Technically, you put out before the first date. Loophole. Thank goodness. My virtue won't be compromised in that case. Rolling onto my back, I do my best to get rid of the condom in the most practical way and lie back down, pulling her under my arms so we can stare up at the stars. The movie has long finished, but I kind of prefer only to listen to her soft breaths. Thank goodness. What would you do without your virtue?
Chapter 29. Aurora.
Sit down, please, Aurora.
My face scrunches, confused as I side-eye Amelia, who hasn't been given strict instructions to sit down by Xander. I take a seat on the picnic bench in front of him, resting against my hands as he paces in front of me dramatically. Done.
Thank you, Aurora.
You're welcome, Alexander. Your wish is my command, clearly. He stops pacing.
Is this a joke to you?
This? What's happening right now? He nods. Yes, it's very much a joke to me. I have no idea what's going on. Can you move a couple of inches to the right, then a couple of inches forward, please? The sun is in my eyes. The three of us were supposed to be filling water bottles for the kids ahead of rock climbing, and somehow I've ended up with Xander wearing his most serious expression. I thought it was weird when he insisted on helping, and I should have known he was up to something. He kisses his teeth, his hands settling on his hips as he stares me down.
This is serious.
I'm sure whatever is happening right now is very serious to you, Zan. Still don't know what's happening, though. I look across to Amelia, who shrugs, watching our friend with interest.
The way you act sometimes makes me glad I don't date men, Amelia says. I'm going to pretend you didn't just say that to me. I have 2 words.
Attention and seeker, Amelia says, at the same time I say, over and dramatic?
Basketball tournament.
He glares at me.
Over dramatic is 1 word. Get your head in the game, Roberts. You're an English major.
I'm really struggling not to laugh. He's caught my interest now, and I'm excited to see where this whole thing is going. Is the game spelling or basketball? Because I'm confused.
Basketball tournament, he repeats, a little louder this time. We can't lose.
I once again look at Amelia, mainly searching for confirmation that we're both experiencing the same thing and I'm not having a weird hallucination. Her perfectly sculpted eyebrows are nearly touching, she's frowning so hard. I decide to be the nominated speaker for the both of us. Clearing my throat, I look back at Xander. Okay.
I don't know what sordid and creative sexual wizardry Callahan has promised you to throw the game, but I need you to forget about it. My reputation is on the line here, and I need you to be a team player.
Rory is very popular with the Titans basketball team, Zan. You don't have anything to worry about, Amelia says, stepping just out of my reach when I try to punch her in the arm. She loves being a team player. Shut up, I snap at her. Xander, I can't lie. I have zero idea what you're talking about. I'm not throwing anything. There's no promises of witchcraft and or wizardry that I'm aware of, and, sweetie, I really don't think it's that serious. The tournament is supposed to be a bit of fun. Somehow, and I truly believe that Xander is probably the one who started it, we've ended up involved in a staff basketball tournament this evening. Teams were picked at random using colored pieces of paper in a hat, and, much to his absolute delight, Russ is on a team with Clay, while Amelia and I are with Xander and some of the lifeguards. Poor Maya has never played basketball in her life, but says she doesn't care because all the people on her team are tall, and in her book, that automatically makes them good.
Russ told me you'd agreed to help them cheat.
That little sneak. Russ is just getting under your skin, buddy. That's what you guys do when you play, right? Shit-talk each other. I haven't even talked to him properly since this morning. My favorite thing is when Russ stops by my cabin on the way back from his morning run before people are up. I sit on his knee or beside him, depending on how sweaty and gross he is, and we watch the sunrise. I'm always half asleep, but I'd definitely remember making a diabolical plan to betray Xander.
You know you could have just said, don't cheat, right?
Amelia says, looking at her watch.
Could have saved us so much time.
If there is sexual wizardry on offer, I might cheat, Xander. I'm just being honest with you. It is very likely that I'll be influenced. I don't even know what it entails, but I know that I want to be a part of it. I'm sure you can respect the difficult position I'm in.
I can't and won't. I'm not losing to Clay because you're horny, Aurora, Xander says sternly.
If we lose to Clay, it's because I have to play basketball when I have no hand-eye coordination. I'm super lazy when it's on the Brown Bears schedule because I just let Xander or Clay take charge. You need to relax. It's not going to count against you next season, you know. Xander and Clay both worked here last year, but in different groups, so they weren't strangers when they were put together this year. But last month, on one of the rare occasions I checked my phone, I saw Ryan had texted to tell me he signed with the LA Rockets. The guys overheard me tell Amelia, and it started a conversation about the NBA. which then started a further conversation about how Xander and Clay know Ryan because they've played against him, and, just to add another level, the pair plays against each other. I've heard them make subtle digs at each other sometimes, but I brushed it off as guy nonsense. What I didn't realize is that Stanford and Berkeley are bitter athletic rivals, and apparently that expands to informal, just-for-fun summer camp basketball. Ridiculous.
I've seen you play paint dodgeball. I know there's nothing wrong with your hand-eye coordination, you Judas.
Serious question, Amelia says, picking up the water bottles we put down when Xander insisted we stop for an important discussion.
Why are you the way you are?
He doesn't answer her, instead opting to explain all the rules of basketball to us while we walk to the water machines and back. By the time we return to our group, I'm surprised the kids haven't passed out from dehydration. I hand Russ's bottle to him as his eyebrow quirks.
What took you so long?
He puts the bottle to his lips, taking a big drink. When his mouth is full, I say my 2 new favorite words to him. Sexual wizardry. Some of the water sprays out of his mouth. The rest causes him to choke. He bashes his palm against his chest, covering his mouth with his forearm until he eventually stops spluttering. Need me to put you in the recovery position, Callahan? His eyes are watering, and his face is pink, but it doesn't stop him from beginning to laugh.
I couldn't help it.
I feel like you could definitely help it.
Sweetheart, you don't understand, he says quietly. He was being so annoying. He asked me if I was excited to play a real sport. He's normally so laid back, but competition makes him vicious, and I have to live with him.
Oh, no, I pout playfully. Did the nasty man who chases men for a ball insult you? A man who also chases men for a ball, but on ice.
I know you're just trying to mock me right now, but let me say, you're really fucking cute when you pout at me like that. But I'm going to need you to confirm for me that you know there isn't a ball in hockey. I mean, I'm the goalie, so I don't technically chase anyone, but if we could start with the ball thing first, that'd be great.
He's staring at me, and given the fact his face hasn't recovered from the choking, it's pretty intense. Just past him, I can see some of the boys starting to get into the rock climbing harnesses, and they're definitely not the right ones. Boys, I yell, looking past Russ. Not those ones. Let me help. Stepping around a still perplexed Russ, I head toward my campers, only getting halfway there before I hear Russ shouting at me.
Roar! I just need to hear you say you know it's not a ball. Just once.
Sorry, Callahan. I don't negotiate with my competition. I yell back over my shoulder, smiling to myself when I see Xander immediately start to stomp in Russ's direction. There's a reason I've always liked basketball players but rarely attended basketball games. They're boring. Someone, probably Xander, organized the tournament schedule, and at this point, I can't remember how many games we've played. I have no idea if we're winning or not, and although my legs are sore, it's mainly from running up and down the court while Xander hogs the ball and scores all our points. The kids are having a blast, cheering and shouting enthusiastically throughout every game, but I have definitely lost interest. I want a hot chocolate. I want to watch a movie. I want to hold a dog while Russ's hand rests on my thigh under a blanket. Basically, I'm ready to get my evening back on its regular schedule.
What if we just refuse to play? Amelia says, stretching beside me.
He doesn't actually need us, so I don't think that'd work.
Protest?
Pointless.
Fire?
Extreme. I sigh. I already thought of that one.
You know, if we went on vacation like I suggested, we could have avoided this, she says.
I know, I say, sighing even more dramatically than the last time. I already thought of that, too. The only perk to this whole circus is that Russ is pretty good at basketball, And every time he demonstrates that skill, Clay and Xander look really confused, and it's very satisfying to witness. When we play it with the brown bears, of course I say we lightly since I don't do anything, Russ is concentrating on making sure the kids are all having fun. Now that he's playing for himself, he doesn't need to hold back. And I don't need to pretend I'm not staring at him, because everyone else is too. Xander sits in the empty space beside me, and I hear Amelia groan before he's even opened his mouth. He looks around me to my best friend, scowling.
Next time you need something off a top shelf, don't bother asking me for help. Try growing.
Amelia cackles. Ooh, someone's feeling feisty. He ignores her, instead turning back to me.
Roberts, how do you feel about flashing?
Being flashed? Big no, not a fan. Being the flasher? I ordinarily wouldn't be against it if it's for something important, like a summer camp amateur basketball tournament where there is no prize or real incentive to participate, but it isn't possible with minors around. Sorry. He sighs.
That's true. Damn kids. I wish Clay had a mascot you could steal.
I steal one pig 1,000,000 years ago, and suddenly I'm a risk to mascots. I roll my eyes. As for my various reputations over the years, this is probably the most annoying one. Would it help if I told you it's not the winning that counts, it's the taking part? Xander pins me with a look so icy, it reminds me of my mom staring at my dad.
Grow up, Aurora.
What feels like a dozen games later, it's finally time for us to play Russ. I've been purposely avoiding him since this afternoon, instead sending him intimidating looks, occasionally dragging my finger across my neck when I catch him staring at me. He approaches me as soon as we step onto the court, holding out his hand to shake mine. Isn't this the bit where you proposition me with something debased and scandalous to help you cheat? I say quietly, trying to look casual given our huge audience.
Sorry, Roberts. I don't negotiate with my competition.
He lets go of my hand, moving on to shake everyone else's so it doesn't look weird. Xander is at my side immediately.
What did he say?
He said he'd organize a threesome with someone on the hockey team if I help him cheat. I said no, told him I'm committed to my team.
Okay, you could have picked something believable if you were going to lie to me.
Xander snorts. And it's the most Xander he's been all day, which gives me hope this super intense version of him will pass.
That boy isn't sharing you with anyone. Ever. Is your head in the game?
My head is always in the game. The game starts, and in a very predictable turn of events, it's the Xander versus Clay show. Amelia and I are jogging up and down the court, trying to keep up, but they all have such long legs and everything moves so quickly. They battle for points, which is fine, until Clay and Russ find their rhythm, making it harder for Xander and the other people on our team to keep up. Harder, but not impossible. We're neck and neck, and honestly, I'm more than ready for this to be over.
Roberts, Xander hisses as he runs past me. Distract him!
I don't need him to expand on who him is. Rolling my eyes, I move to the other side of the court. The side Russ seems to favor. The only good distraction methods I have involve nudity, and as previously established, I can't do that here. He looks over his shoulder at me as I approach him, and I feel really freaking silly because there's no way I can do what Xander wants. I watch Clay battle with Xander, then turn, looking for Russ, and I realize it's my shot. The ball is heading right for him, and I get as close as I can. Can we have a threesome? Russ's head snaps to me instantly, and the basketball hits him right in the stomach. He grunts, making me feel sort of bad. Even in his winded state, he half lunges for the ball, but I'm quicker, and as soon as it's in my hands, I freeze. Oh shit! I didn't think beyond the distraction. Go! About 50 people shout at me at once. Bouncing a ball and moving my feet at the same time is not as easy as it looks, and somewhere in the distance I can hear Xander screaming at me to pass, but it's too late because there's a body on mine. Russ being this close to me in front of so many people feels scandalous, but even with his heavy breath on my neck, making my nipples go hard, he's really freaking determined to get the ball back.
We can both play dirty, sweetheart.
He huffs. I'm surprised I can hear him, considering how loud the kids are being on the sidelines. The whistle blows, and Russ takes an extra second to unwrap himself from around me. I tut at him, bouncing the ball once while our teammates argue over God knows what in the background. I can only assume what we just did breaks some kind of rule, but I'd be lying if I said I had any interest in finding out which one. I have a proposition for you.
If it's another threesome offer, I respectfully decline.
I can't help but snort. If I pretend to hurt myself, want to go find the dogs and drink hot chocolate?
Of course I want that. Basketball is shit.
Not all balls are created equal. Xander gestures for me to throw him the ball while he continues to bicker with Clay about something. You're allowed to favor your own. Russ is staring at me with his hands on his hips. His hair is messy, brushed back off his face in the way I love. It's a real struggle not to tell him how pretty he is every minute of the day.
I know we sort of laughed about it, but I need to hear you say you know what a hockey puck looks like, and that you know it's not a ball.
Of course I do. He breathes a sigh of relief. Like a little baby car tire.
What? No, it...
I turn to walk away from him, pretending to trip over my own feet and fall to the ground before he can say anything else, shouting, "Ouch!" at the top of my lungs. Russ crouches beside me, pretending to check my knee for injury.
You'd be a terrible actress, you know.
I'm in so much pain, I say casually. Please take me to the nurse, my hero. The rest of the team jog over, staring down at me on the floor.
What happened? She fell over her own feet,
Russ says, holding out his hands to help pull me up.
I should take her to the nurse to be on the safe side. You guys carry on without us.
Clay immediately tries to protest, but Xander beats him to it.
Yeah, that's fair. Then we're both one person down. Feel better, Roberts. Good effort, etc.
He mouths, "Good job," as I pretend to hobble away with Russ. And I love that Xander immediately thinks I did this for him and not myself. When we're far enough away from the basketball court that the kids' cheers are just a quiet hum, Russ pulls me off the path and pushes me against a tree. My heart rate instantly spikes, excitement growing as he presses into me, caging me in with his arms. I know everyone is at the basketball court, but this is bold, especially for him. If I knew you wanted to take me against a tree, I'd have fallen down so much earlier.
Take you?
He echoes.
No, I need your undivided attention while I talk to you about hockey pucks.